Our story begins in Japan, where the rate of appearance of monsters has increased horribly, and these monsters are called kashu monsters. Specifically in the city of Yokohama, Kanagawa Prefecture, we are witnessing the appearance of a giant, terrifying monster, and all residents of the city must evacuate immediately. But soon members of the 3rd Defense Division appear to defeat this giant monster, led by Commander Mina Ichi, who we see standing in dignity and magnificence as she defeats the monster. After they eliminate him, they receive warm cheers from the people of the city. We see the hero of our story, Hibino, and we know that he is 32 years old. He and his friends are watching what is happening from afar, waiting for the battle to end because Hibino and those with him work at the Monster Sweep Broco Company, which specializes in cleaning up monster traces. Hibino seems dissatisfied with his job, and there is news on television that the monster that appeared has been defeated, but he warns people near the site of the incident about the remains of the monster. Hibino and his friends show their annoyance that no one appreciates their work. Then they set off to begin their disgusting battle to clean up the accident site. We know that their work is hard and exhausting, so Hibino calls out asking for a saw to cut the bones. But he sees someone trying to move a limb from the monster's body, so he shouts at him, warning him. And before he finishes his words, the man tells him that he cannot lift it because it will explode. Indeed, the organ explodes, hitting the worker in the foot and stopping work. Meanwhile, Hibino stands up asking his friends if they can finish this cleaning operation in 1 week, but their leader arrives and informs them that another site is empty and needs someone to work on it. When Hibino asks about the site, the leader raises his glasses and stares at him. The leader mysteriously tells them that the location is the intestine. Hibino hears the word intestine and starts screaming that he refuses to go there, but his friends grab him and force him to go against his will. Hibino can't help himself, and his stomach starts turning inside the suit, which God knows what condition it is in, telling his friends that he won't be able to eat for a long time because of its bad smell. Hibino's day ends, and he returns home, throws away his clothes and keys, and then throws himself into bed, exhausted from the disgusting day he's had. The newscast begins by showing the monster incident they were involved in, and shows a picture of Captain Mina Ichi for her key role in defeating the monster. Hibino watches the bulletin and mutters that Captain Mina Ichi has defeated hundreds of monsters and is only 27 years old. Strong woman. Hibino wakes up and continues by saying that her beauty has contributed to her popularity, and that she will be nominated for the position of Major General soon. Hibino remembers his childhood memories with Mina Ichi when they were young, and then becomes angry and blames himself for losing that path. But he tries to comfort himself with some words, saying that his cleaning work is important, and that he lives a comfortable life in which he does whatever he wants. But all this talk is just nonsense. Hibino says that these are just words to comfort himself, and then he goes to sleep. Hibino wakes up in the morning feeling extremely thirsty as a result of drinking a lot of water due to yesterday's annoying incident, and heads to the Monster Sweep Broco Company to continue his work. As soon as Hibino enters the company, his friend Tuco calls him and introduces him to Lino, 18 years old, an introverted young man who acts coldly and indifferently. Toko tells his friend Hibino that Lino will join them at work, and that he aspires to join the defense squad one day. Toko then jokes with his friend Hibino, saying that he too dreamed of joining the defense squad, but he gave up his dream and joined them because he became old. Hibino gets annoyed and gives a yellow smile after secretly cursing Tuco, and says that he won't bother this newbie any longer. Lino turns to Hibino and asks him why he gave up his dream of joining the defense squad, and Hibino replies that he tried his best, but he was no better than the other applicants. Lino answers him coldly that he will not give up on his dream and that he does not understand Hibino's words. Hibino replies to him, saying that he will understand what he says when he grows up, but Lino answers him, "No, I will not understand what you say, and I do not want to understand it." Obviously, they won't agree. After that, they head out to change their clothes and get ready for work. The leader distributes the work to everyone and assigns Lino to work on the intestines from his first day. Hibino smiles gloatingly, but is shocked when the leader tells him that he will be accompanying Lino to work in the intestines as well. Hibino starts complaining, cursing the day he started working in this disgusting profession. Lino tells the commander that Hibino has a fighting spirit, and if he joins the defense squad, he will become an effective element. Lunchtime comes, and Hibino sits next to Lino, gloatingly asking him how it feels to work in the intestines on his first day. But he is shocked again when he remembers that he is working with him in the intestines. Looks like yesterday's drinking is still affecting him. Hibino notices that Lino is not eating, so he asks him why, and Lino tells him that he does not want to eat anything. Hibino throws him a bottle of vitamins, saying that he should drink them, and if he wants to continue working, he should fill his stomach. Lino says he doesn't need anything, but Hibino grabs the nose plugs and tells him he'll give them to him too. Lino refuses to take it, so Hibino forces him to take it, and he goes crazy. The workday ends and everyone prepares to leave, but Lino calls Hibino, and Hibino asks him if he will take revenge for what happened at lunch. But contrary to expectations, Lino thanks Hibino and says that his first day at work went smoothly thanks to him. Before he leaves, he tells Lino Hibino an important piece of information, that he can still join the defense squad, because he is only 33 years old. A ray of hope shines in Hibino's eyes, and Lino continues by saying that he doesn't have to tell anyone about this, but he felt pity for him. Hibino looks sad as he speaks, and Leno tries to show that he doesn't care and that he has no interest in joining the defense squad. Lino prepares to leave, but Hibino calls him and says that he is a good person, and thanks him. Lino gets upset and yells at him, "Don't say that, I'm not good." Suddenly, a huge monster appears behind Lino and is about to kill him, but Hibino runs quickly towards him. Hibino pushes Lino away before the monster, who appears to be a follower of the previously defeated monster, can reach him. The monster tries to attack again, but Hibino pushes Leno with his foot and calls out to him, "Run away from here immediately!" Hibino calls for help, and Lino tells him that he cannot defeat the monster alone. Hibino answers, "Even if we can't do anything, we must escape and save ourselves. You want to join the defense squad, and if you die, you won't be able to do that." Leno wastes no more time and quickly escapes. What a coward. Hibino grabs his chainsaw and stands in front of the angry monster, ready to attack. Hibino realizes that he has no chance against a monster like this, and feels his weakness and the nearness of his end. We then move to Hibino's memories, where he stands with Mina Ichi, looking sad. Mina Ichi cries because her and Hibino's house has been left in ruins by monsters. Hibino shouts that he will never forgive monsters because he was about to finish a stage in Grand Theft Auto. Mina Ichi is shocked by his words. Is this all that matters to him in this disaster? Mina scolds Ichi Hinbo and tells him your house was destroyed and that's all she thinks about. She is overcome with grief over the death of Maiko, their only childhood friend. Their feelings overflowed with anger and they shouted in unison, "Damn you!" Both of them insisted on joining the defense squad, and each of them boasted of their strength, arguing about who would be the strongest and who would arrive first. Meanwhile, Hibino was taking heavy beatings from a huge monster. The blows knocked him to the ground, almost crushing his body. Hibino kept feeling hurt and repeating, "Why didn't I take the first path? Why did I choose this path?" The monster approached him to devour him, but suddenly Lino appeared carrying a huge stick and struck a strong blow on the monster's head. "What a loyal friend you are, you saved me," Hibino exclaimed in surprise. Then he turned to Leno and reproached, "What brought you back, you idiot? Didn't I tell you to run away? You idiot!" Leno replied, "I called for help, and if I had left you here, I would not have been able to join the defense squad." Hibino remembered when he was rejected from the defense squad, when he received a letter saying that he had failed the test, and he said to himself, "I can't do anything, not even protect my gaming device, or protecting his girlfriend's cat while he is still unable to cope or protect the new Lino in his company." At that moment, the monster attacked them and was about to kill them, but suddenly, surprisingly, the monster fell dead. Lino and Hibino were surprised by what happened, and when they looked behind them, they were shocked to see the defense team that had eliminated the monster. Mina Ashru was standing tall alongside her tiger and the rest of the band. Mina ordered her squad members to advance to rescue the injured, then mounted her tiger and set off searching for other beasts in the area. Hibou watched her in awe, mesmerized by her beauty and strength. Everyone was taken to Yokohama Hospital, and when Hibou woke up, he remembered what happened and said, "Mina Ashuro has become truly amazing. She eliminated monsters in the blink of an eye and far surpassed me. It is impossible for me to reach her level, and if it were not for her, I would be dead now." Lino also woke up and said to Hibino, "You should join the defense squad. This is your final decision." "But I'm getting excited," Hanib replied, puzzled. "What exactly do you want from me?" Hibino took courage and said, "I'm right, I won't accept this situation anymore. I'll try to join for the 10th time." Suddenly, a small monster appeared flying in the air, heading towards Hibino. As soon as Hibino saw it, he screamed in fear. Before the monster could complete its attack, Lino rushed towards Hibino thinking that his wound had returned to hurt him. But when Lino pulled down the curtain separating them, he found that Hibino had transformed into a terrifying monster with enormous power. Hibino stared into the mirror, then turned to Leno, and they shouted at each other. There was silence for a moment. Then Hibino calmed down and told Lino to try to calm himself down. As soon as Hibino calmed down, an old man passed by them. The man panicked when he saw Hibino and grabbed his phone to report them. Lino noticed that the man was reporting them, so he told Hibino, "We must escape or we will be arrested." At that moment, Mina Ashru was thinking about the day she spent with Hibino when they were young. She remembered facing the huge monster that was bigger than them, and how Hibino reassured her, saying, "I will be by your side and will never leave you." "He was a liar, and he is still a liar," Mina Ashru said to herself. Her phone rang at that moment. A new monster had appeared in the city, and it was the Hibino that the old man had reported. Mina Ashru said, "I will follow the forces and get rid of him as quickly as possible. Then I will return to preparations." We returned to Hibino, who the old man was still afraid of. Lino tried to calm the man down and asked Hanibo to try to smile. But when Hanibo smiled, his appearance was so terrifying that the man fell to the ground in fear and fainted. Hanibo tried to approach him to calm him down, but as soon as he touched the root, it broke from its strength. They were shocked by what happened, and Lino said to Hanibo, "We must escape quickly. The defense forces are on the way." But suddenly sirens sounded, and patients in the hospital woke up to see what was happening. Hanibo decided to escape through the window, but as soon as he touched the window, it broke in his hand. "I was expecting this," Hanibo said to himself. "I'm terrified of what's happening to my body." Hanibo jumped out of the window, and the news announced the appearance of a small monster, urging residents to stay indoors and not go out. Residents obeyed orders and turned off the lights in their homes. Hanibo and Lino were running, and suddenly Hanibo's body shape began to change, becoming similar to Hibino. Lino said to him, "I will ask you one last question to be sure. Are you a Hibino?" Because of what was happening to his body, Hanibo began to doubt his identity as well, and suddenly, Hibino involuntarily stuck out his tongue, caught a bird with his tongue, and then returned to his first monstrous form. But this time, his appearance was disgusting, and Leno said, "His appearance is disgusting." Hibino suddenly shouted, "I have to go to the bathroom." Lino asked, "What's wrong?" Hibino replied, "I want to go to the bathroom." "Try to control yourself," Lino told him, trying to calm him down. But Hibino was about to lose control of himself, so he muddied the road and fell to the ground out of embarrassment. Leno tried to drag him away, fearing that the defense forces would see them and their fate would be unknown. Hibino got up and asked Leno, "Will I be able to join the defense squad now?" Leno slapped him, saying, "That's impossible. Anyone who sees you will realize that you are a monster and try to kill you." "This has to happen if I decide to join the defense squad," Hibino shouted. Then he looked at the ground and said in a sad tone, "I will never be able to join the defense squad." When they reached a deserted area where there was no one, Hibino felt that something was approaching them, so he asked Lino, "Is this the defense forces?" Then Hibino realized, "No, It's something coming from underground. It was a monster, and suddenly a huge monster emerged from the ground. It was the same size as the monster that had appeared the day before. Leno took advantage of the monster's appearance and said, "This is to our advantage. The defense forces will be divided. A few of them will look for you, and certainly there will be no casualties among the residents." But suddenly the monster demolished a house and the debris fell on a mother and her little daughter. The mother and daughter were screaming, and the mother refused to leave her daughter and run away. The monster was about to kill them, but at that moment, Hibino rushed towards the monster and flew away. Hibino was astonished by his strength, and when he approached the little girl and her mother to reassure them, the mother screamed, thinking it was another monster that had come to eat them. "Don't be afraid," Hibino told her, but the little girl continued to cry. Hibino asked Lino to take care of the mother and daughter. Then he attacked the monster and attacked him from all sides until he was thrown to the ground. As Hibino walked away, the little girl called him crying and thanked him for saving them. Hibino remembered his days with Mina Ashru when they were young, when he told her, "I will always be by your side," and she said to him, "Together we will overcome fear." The defense forces arrived and Mina Ashru was with them. They saw Hibino, and Leno said, "I'll talk to them about this." He took the child and her mother to the hospital and has to leave now. But Hibino shocked him when he said, "I have decided to stay. I must be by her side and I will not leave her." A picture of Hibino appeared on the news screen in his monster form with the words, "Monster number 8. The broadcaster said, "This monster number 8 appeared this year, and it is still unknown, and no one knows its whereabouts. The defense forces continue to search for it, but to no avail." The employees of Monster Super Monster Cleaning Company were watching the news, and they noticed that the defense forces had not found the monster yet, and some wondered if it was dead. "People are still talking about this even though 3 months have passed," Lino said to himself. "Hibino will be the first monster to survive since the founding of these forces, and they want to kill him at any cost." The company's president called Leno and gave him a message, saying, "I have reached you and Hibino." Hibino was assigned to work overtime. Leno took the letter and left the company president's office. He took the letter to Hibino's worksite. When Lino opened the letter, he was shocked by what was in it, and ran to Hibino and said, "You have succeeded in first admission test for the defense squad." Hibino was sitting on top of the monster that was cleaning his place, eating his lunch in his monster form. Leno said to him, "Return to your human form. They are still looking for you, and you must be aware of what is happening around you. Otherwise, we will all be in great danger." Hibino returned to his human form and said to Lin, "I am transforming without realizing it." We learned that they had written a report on the day of the incident, in which they stated that they felt afraid in the hospital and ran away. That's why no one suspected that Hibino was the monster. Lino took out the letter and gave it to Hibino, who said in amazement, "This is a test, and I passed it. What a surprise." Leno was surprised, saying, "I thought you would jump for joy, but you don't seem to care." Hibino answered, "I always failed the second test, but I always passed the first." Leno asked, "Do you intend to take the second test in your human form, or do you have another plan?" "No problem," Hibino said reassuringly. "I can control myself and transform whenever I want." But Lino was not convinced and said, "The first test was written, but in the second test there will be many members of the defense forces. If you are exposed, bid farewell to your life." Hibino said, "I can't help it. It's been 3 months that I've been searching for any way to regain my human form, but to no avail. I'm 32 years old, and this exam is my last hope to join the defense squad. Otherwise, I'll say goodbye to my dream forever." Leno responded firmly, "I don't care about your circumstances. What matters now is that we are in danger, and I will not sacrifice myself for you. Damn you and your consideration." Hibino tried to open the lid of a water bottle, but it was tightly closed. Hibino automatically turns into a monster to open the lid. Leno said to him, "I'm running out of patience with you. I won't let you participate in the test because you will put all of us in danger. I promise I'll be able to control myself during the test. Hibino pleaded. If anything happens there, I won't help you, Leno insisted, then left and walked away. I'm glad he passed the first test, Hibino said to himself. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to convince him. 10 days later, Hibino and Leno go to the base west of Tokyo, where the second test of the defense squad will be held. Leno looked at the Tachikawa base and said, It's bigger than the Kumoagaya base we visited before. Then Hibino tells him, its size is because it includes the Japanese ground defense forces as well. They looked at Soldiers Square in western Tokyo and noticed that it was full of soldiers. Leno said, If you transfer here, you will have to say goodbye to your dreams. Hibino replied, Being nervous won't do us any good in a place like this. Leno and Hibino started to look for the reception desk, but someone called out to Hibino, saying, This one! Hibino didn't pay attention because he thought the person was calling someone else called this. But Leno told him, Look behind you. Hibino turned and saw the person calling him. She said to him, Grandfather. Are you deaf? Hibino was shocked and said, I'm not your grandfather. I'm 32 years old, she said. Are you a fool? You are old. Leno noticed that the girl standing next to Hibino also wanted to take the test. The girl spoke rudely to Hibino, saying, Move that old car of yours, I want to park my car here. Hibino refused to move his car, saying, There are plenty of places to park your car. The girl insisted, saying, I want to park my car exactly here, because my favorite number is 5. Hibino became angry and said to her, I will teach you some manners if you don't stop being rude. The girl replied, I will move this junk myself. The girl took off her dress and was wearing a Defense Forces uniform, then she lifted the car with her hand. Leno and Hibino were shocked by her strength, and she told them, I am the 2016 applicant, Keiru Shino Maya. Kiro approached Hibino and said, I smell a monster coming off of you. Did Kiro reveal the truth about Hibino? Don't forget to press the like button and leave a comment with your opinion on the events, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell button to receive a notification when the next video is published to know what will happen. We hope you liked the video.